Through 9 weeks of football, one truth has been impossible to ignore. The Dallas Cowboys have been their own worst enemy on third down. Let that sink in. The Cowboys, a franchise built on pride, history, and the star, are ranked dead last in the NFL in third down defense. Opposing offenses have converted 52.6% of their third down attempts. That's not just bad, that's historically bad. And it's been the silent killer behind so many of the heartbreaks this season. Every week it's the same story. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, 3rd and short, and instead of forcing punts, the defense breaks. Drives extend, the defense wears down. The offense never gets rhythm. Games slip away. That's why the Cowboys' midseason trades weren't just smart, they were essential. Jerry Jones and this front office finally decided enough was enough. And they went out and brought in 2 men who can completely change the complexion of this defense, linebacker Logan Wilson and defensive tackle Quinnen Williams. Now, these aren't just depth pieces or flashy memes to calm down the fan base. These are tone setters, football minds who can fix what's been fundamentally broken in Dallas. And if this team has any hope of turning the season around, it starts right here with these 2 additions. The third down disaster. Let's start with the problem. Dallas's defense has been getting crushed on third down, not because of effort, but because of execution. Missed tackles, poor run fits, zero pocket pressure in key moments, and the results speak for themselves. Opposing offenses have been staying on the field for nearly entire quarters at a time, draining the Cowboys' defense and leaving Dak Prescott and the offense sitting cold on the sidelines. This isn't just about stats. This is about identity. Third down defense is the heartbeat of any elite unit. It's the difference between being feared and being forgotten. When you're ranked 32nd in the league, it's not just a problem, it's a crisis. The Cowboys have been failing to finish drives. They're getting into good positions early in series, forcing 2nd and longs, and then they collapse. Opponents convert short passes, screen plays, or simple draw runs. That lack of discipline has bled into every part of this defense. And it's exactly why Wilson and Williams are here. How Logan Wilson changes everything. Let's talk about Logan Wilson first. If you followed his career with the Bengals, you know he's not just another linebacker. He's a field general. Wilson brings something this defense has lacked since Micah Parsons left: leadership and intelligence at the 2nd level. This man sees plays before they happen. He reads the quarterback's eyes, identifies blocking schemes, and reacts faster than almost anyone in the league. In Cincinnati, Wilson was known for his coverage ability. 11 career interceptions as a linebacker. That's not normal. That's rare awareness, the kind that turns drives into takeaways. For Dallas, Wilson is the antidote to the chaos that's been happening on third down. Instead of slow reactions or blown coverages in the middle of the field, he brings calm, calculated decision-making. He can diagnose plays, communicate adjustments, and plug the right gaps at the right times. This is the kind of linebacker that allows your defense to get off the field. He's not going to light up the stat sheet every week, but you'll notice him in the details. The tighter coverage on 3rd and medium, the quicker reads on play action, the communication before the snap that stops confusion before it starts. Logan Wilson is a stabilizer, and that's exactly what this team has been missing. Quinnen Williams, the force in the trenches. Now let's move to the man who could completely transform the front 7. We didn't just add a defensive tackle. We added one of the most dominant interior linemen in football. For years, Dallas has struggled inside. They've had pass rushers who can bend off the edge, but rarely a true interior force who can collapse the pocket from the middle. Quinnen Williams changes that instantly. He's a game wrecker, a disruptor, a defensive tackle who demands double teams, and even then, he still finds a way to get pressure. When Quinnen Williams pushes the pocket, quarterbacks don't have time to sit comfortably and read coverages. They're forced to move, to make quick decisions, to throw off balance. And that ripple effect changes everything. Coverage gets easier, blitzes hit home, and drives end sooner. This is what Dallas has missed all season: an interior presence that forces offenses out of rhythm. Williams brings power, agility, and most importantly, consistency. He's not just a run stuffer. He's a playmaker. And when you pair him with Wilson behind him, suddenly that soft middle of the field that teams have been exploiting disappears. The Cowboys' issues weren't just about talent. They were about complementary football. The front seven and the secondary were rarely on the same page. The run defense would collapse early in drives, setting up easy third and shorts. The pass rush couldn't get home because quarterbacks were getting the ball out too quickly. It was a cycle, one that fed itself week after week. Now, with Williams and Wilson, Dallas finally has the chance to break it. Williams closes those early down gaps, forcing third and long situations. Wilson cleans up the second level, taking away the short routes and dump-offs that had been killing them. Together, they give defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus flexibility, more zone disguise, more rotation, more control. And that's the key word, control. For too long, the Cowboys' defense has been reacting to opponents. Now, with these two additions, they can start dictating terms again. Let's be real, improvement won't happen overnight. Even the best players need time to learn new systems and gel with teammates. But the signs are there. You can already feel a shift in tone from this locker room, a new energy, a sense that this team isn't done fighting. The Cowboys have 6 weeks left to rewrite their story. They've been embarrassed, criticized, and written off. But now the tools for redemption are right there in front of them. If Logan Wilson and Quinnen Williams can do what they've done their entire careers, control the middle, communicate, and bring toughness, Dallas can climb out of this hole. They can start forcing punts instead of allowing drives. They can flip field position. They can give the offense a chance to play from ahead instead of chasing from behind. Because when you fix third down, you fix everything. You fix the defense's confidence. You fix time of possession. You fix momentum. And ultimately, you fix your season. Cowboys fans, this is the turning point. This is where the Dallas Cowboys decide who they are. A team that folds when things get tough, or a team that fights back with purpose. These trades weren't desperation moves. They were declarations. Jerry Jones made it clear. This team isn't giving up. And now, with Logan Wilson and Quinnen Williams wearing the star, the Cowboys have no excuses left. It's time to finish drives. It's time to dominate third down. It's time to play the kind of defense worthy of that star on the helmet. So what do you think, Cowboys Nation? Will Wilson and Williams be the key to finally fixing this defense? Can these two new stars bring back that physical, dominant identity we've all been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Dallas Game Day, and turn on notifications, because we'll be breaking down every game, every move, and every moment that shapes the Cowboys' comeback. The season's not over yet. In fact, it might just be beginning. Because for the first time in months, Dallas finally has the pieces to believe again. This is Dallas Game Day, and we're just getting started.